Hello. Wait. Oh, here we
Hello.
go. It's going.
Yeah,
Welcome
okay.
to
It says
episode
in the
5
corner.
of the
Oh,
Mouthy Podcast. I'm joined today by Mackenzie Troffe, which is weird because I didn't know your last name until you came on here. And I also never call you
really?
Mackenzie. It's really weird. Yeah, because your
Yeah,
Instagram
I
is
guess that's what
TT.
my email has it in it. Yeah.
I know when I was naming the episode, I was like, oh crap, I really have no clue. But it worked, and we're here. Um, Obviously, we're rocking some very swag backgrounds for episode
mhm.
5. Um,
Big fan of the melon guy.
yes, I don't know. I googled random stock images and this man popped up, and so far he's treated me well.
There's a stock
So there
image
you
for
go.
everything. You can do whatever you
There
want with stock
really
images.
is. It'd be kind of sweet to be a stock image like maker, because you could just be like, I think I will like get into my laundry hamper and like hold a stick of
Today,
dynamite, and
I
it'll
want
be
to
like,
dress up as a
yes.
nurse and push an old woman into a pool.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
You
you
can
have just
do whatever you
unlimited
wanted.
creative license. Um, for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know
Maybe
how this,
someone will need it eventually.
that's right. If you're doing like a service that just pushes people in funeral homes into the pool, like a hitman service for old people. Um, but yeah, if you don't know how this podcast works, basically, I'm joined by a guest, and then I ask them a question. Well, I ask them the same question. The question is, what's your story? You can interpret this however you want. It can be your funniest story, your saddest story, the story of your life, the story of how you ended up in this seat. It can be anything. Um, and then after that, we chat for a bit, tell some stories, uh, and then yeah, you get a chance to interview me at the very end if you have any burning questions you need to ask, and that's that. So,
Hey.
without further ado, holy crap, dude. Uh, what's your story?
um, Damn, I don't really know what to talk about.
It could be
Well,
anything.
I don't really have like a cool oh, I lived in like some cool place before moving here. I've always lived in Vancouver. Never
Easy.
moved house, but yeah, I'm gonna have to make a confession. I've only watched one of the podcasts. I only watched the first one.
You're better than everyone else, dude.
Really?
Like, no one has seen. You're the first person to actually be on the podcast who's seen one.
I watched like
So,
half an hour of the first one that you did
yeah,
with Kikoa. Am I
yeah,
pronouncing that right? Yeah.
that's how I say it, dude. He's Hawaiian, so he probably gets like 40 pronunciations. Um, Honestly, half an hour of one is like it's so bad. One of them got like 150 views, and the average watch time was like 11 seconds. I was like, "Let's go!" That's so good.
Good. Did you
Like
did
people
you go like
got in my.
did you go like this?
Yeah, I did. I did 2 of them actually. I don't think there's an option for that though. Um. So yeah, I mean, it can be as simple as just like the funniest story you have, or like the most stupid thing you've ever done, or whatever.
Hmm.
I
I've done a
noticed
lot
it.
of stupid
I'll
things,
give
but I
you a
don't think
second.
I can pick one out.
Oh God. All right. Well, shall I start? I haven't actually told any of my stories yet.
Okay, you can start
Easy,
and get the
easy.
ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling. Okay, which one? Got a couple, dude. Okay, one time I got a good one. So in grades 8, no, 8, grade 8, there's a thing called leadership camp where you all go to, um, like the middle of nowhere in some forest and like sleep in tents. And I think you had to take the ferry there. It was somewhere on Vancouver Island.
Mm.
and you and it's a like multi-school thing, so all because I'm in the francophone school board, so all the francophone school board schools do this in 8th grade. And your whole class, not your whole grade but your whole class, all goes to this like basically campsite, and there's like yurts and stuff that you stay in. You do leadership activities, so you do like whatever, like trust falls and like escape rooms and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool.
Okay. Escape rooms
So
in the middle of the forest.
yeah, it was pretty clutch. It's like, okay, you can walk
Oh,
out,
that's
but
pretty
just
fun.
don't. And then, anyways, we get there and we meet all the other. There's I think two other schools or like two other classes from different schools there. So we all like hang out. We're meeting each other, and I sit down at the table because they had like one big building where you had your meals. So we
So
walk in.
like kind of like a summer camp almost, but like with
Yeah,
school.
it
Yeah.
was more like a summer camp than a tent site actually.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so we go into the big main room and we're eating like and we're getting served our meal, and they had a rule where like you had to have one person from different school on either side of you. So I sit down and
Mhm.
these two random guys, and it's a table of like I think six or something, and across from me is one of my friends. So we sit down, and basically my friend is just like only talking to me. He's like not interested in making any friends. So basically it's just everyone's talking across the table to their friends, and then the like
Yeah.
leadership counselor comes over and they're like, oh guys, like maybe we should play a game to get you to know everyone. And then she's like, okay, so go around and say your favorite dish and everything. And then we go around and I go and I'm like, oh whatever, I like sushi or something, and my name's Jack. And we go all the way around and then there's this one kid and we were eating like beef chili. And it had like beef and like bacon and cheese on top. This guy's like, yeah, so my name's Vincent and I'm actually a vegetarian. And the whole table just goes silent because the woman who said that apparently turns out she was like the chef too, or she was like one of the chefs, and she just looks at him and then he starts like he was basically so sad because he hadn't eaten anything and it's only at the end of the
He's just so hungry.
yeah, he's just so hungry. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want anything?" And he's like, "Nah, the food here is kind of trash." Oh yeah, sorry, because we only figured out that she was the chef afterwards. So he's like, "Oh, nah, the food is kind of trash." Anyways, she was like so hurt, and she just left. And then was like, "Wait, what the hell? Why'd you
Oh
just leave?"
no.
And then we sort of became friends, the six of us, because we just started having like inside jokes about how this guy was a vegetarian. It's like every time there was food, we just like
When did you?
sure to like compliment the chef so much, but we did it sarcastically, so I think they hated us. It was really beautiful. Um,
It would be so hard to like cook dishes for like a whole camp of people though, like because you have to find like something that's like, for, like everybody's gonna like pretty much.
yeah, well that's the thing, and then all the dietary restrictions. Like I'm sure they had vegetarian chili. He just like didn't ask for it for some reason. It was so stupid.
Yeah,
And
I mean at the summer camps I've been to, you can like tell them like whatever and they'll cook you something special.
yeah, um, but then we find out that she's the chef, and then we're just dying, dude. And we go back to
Oh,
our
that would
like
be
there's
so
a meeting
awkward.
area. It was like an amphitheater, but like way less cool. It was just like some like logs on the ground around the fire pit.
Yeah.
Um, and they're like, okay, we're gonna split you up for your like housing rooms. So it's me, and then the vegetarian guy, and then two of my friends, and then a couple other people who I didn't know. But the important bit is that I was the vegetarian guy, and one other guy at my table. So we sort of knew each other and we're friends. We go back to our room. We did some other leadership activities, but then that night comes and we go back to our room. And obviously it was only guys in one room and then girls in the other rooms. Um, and so there's some kids in my room from the other school that apparently they were like extreme, like they were hot to trot, man. Like they were not taking no from an answer. They were like, you know what, bro? I know they didn't. I know they told us not to sneak out of the rooms at night, but I got some of these girls on Snap. I'm just gonna hit them up. So they're there. They like hatch this plan. They literally like pushed all the beds together and like all got under the like big quilt and had their phone flashlights. So it was like a cult meeting. And they're like, okay, here's the play. We're gonna stay up till 2:30 a.m. and then sneak out to the girls' room or like sneak outside and go meet the girls and like hang out. And then me and my friend are like, you guys are such idiots, dude. They're just gonna go to sleep. And they're like, nah, 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 trust, bro. I swear. So then we're like, okay, fine, whatever.
Why were
So
they waiting till 2:30?
I don't
So
know, because
late.
I guess like the women, like the people watching us were gonna like go back to their rooms once they thought we were all asleep. So we're all pretending to be asleep, and they leave. And this kid, they said no electronics, and this kid whips out his bag and pulls out his like RGB gaming laptop. He's like, boys, get ready, and he opens it and he queues up Pornhub, and then they just start watching pornography in the
Oh my
cabin,
god.
and like so
This is dumb.
loud, like maxing the volume, and then we hear footsteps down the hall. So we all like close the computer, like hide under our covers, and it's this woman who was like in charge of making basically sure we go to sleep on time. And she comes into our room and she turns the lights on, and we're all pretending to be asleep. So we're like, ah, man, like, why are you turning on the lights so late? And she's like, I heard you guys watching videos, man. I don't think she knew what it was, likely because she's probably too far away. But she's like, you got to be quiet. Plus, you're not even supposed to have like technology here. And then she was like, I'm sitting in this room until every single person is asleep. And then she sits down, and after like 20 minutes she gets bored, so she leaves. And this one guy from my who's in the room like sits up in bed and he's like, good night, miss, love you. I was just like dying, and she's so pissed. She slams the door and like walks away. And then I think that night the girls made some excuse. They're like, oh, we're not gonna meet tonight, we'll do it tomorrow instead. And they're like, okay, fine. So the next day we all go to dinner, or sorry, we all go to breakfast. I mean, in the morning, and all the girls are there, and the guys from my cabin are so cheesed. They're like, "Yo, man, why didn't you come out, bro? Like, come on, it would have been so sick." And the girls are like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't want to." And then, anyways, the day goes by. Well, again, we do some trash like leadership activities.
God, those
Made
are
the
like the worst part of a camp.
Yeah,
It's fun to like, I don't know, like go kayaking or something, but then you have to like do like trust falls for an hour. It's like,
yeah. Well, trust falls are better. Like had this one thing where we had to like walk around camp and just like look for signs that humans had been there, because it was like leave no trace or whatever. So we were like trying to figure out how to like
oh
make it
yeah.
all like nature. It was really bad. Um.
Oh.
Anyways, we do that for a whole day, just stupid stuff. Then we come back and it's dinner, and the guys, we had like a really long table, and most of the girls were sitting at my, or most of the girls that the guys are interested were sitting at my end, and they're like, all right, listen, tonight, bro, we're gonna make it a bit earlier because man got tired. Saying 1:30 a.m. We're gonna all meet in the courtyard, and then I'm like, I raise my hand, I'm like, boys, what are we actually gonna do though? And then the guys are also like
Yeah.
embarrassed. They're like, oh, like I don't know, just stop. And then one guy raises his hand. He's like, maybe we should play spin the bottle. And all the girls are just like dead silent, straight faces, and they're like, nah. And the guy's like, yeah, well, I didn't want to do that anyways. And we go back to our club, and then it's 1:30, and two of the I think like 8 guys in my room are like, all right, boys, I've had enough. They get up out of their bed and sneak out of the house, and apparently they're going to go like see the girls, because I didn't see this, but apparently some girl on Snap was like, oh, if you go out, we'll go out with you and like meet you. So they go out and they sneak out, and I don't know, it's a miracle to me that they evaded the lady, dude. And every time that we saw this lady walk into our room, everyone would be like, "Good night, miss, love you." No matter, like, if it was 2 p.m., we just tell them good night, love you.
Like that one guy did the first time, just like turned into
Yeah,
a
exactly,
tradition.
exactly. um, so then these 2 guys sneak out, and they apparently go to the girls' thing. We wait like 45 minutes for them, and they're still not back. And we're like, "What the hell are they doing?" So then a third guy goes out to look for them. And then he comes back like 20 minutes later, still hasn't found them. At this point, it's been over an hour. We're like, you know what? Whatever. I'm going to sleep.
Why don't they just like text them or something, since they all had their stuff?
Uh, I don't actually. I didn't have like I didn't bring my phone because they were like,
Yeah.
oh, you're not supposed to. And then I guess it was something like the 3 guys that went were all friends and no one else had their Instagram or
Oh
something.
yeah.
It
Okay.
was something like that. We go to sleep and we wake up and they're still not there. And we're like,
Oh
what
no.
the heck? So then we go and we go to breakfast, and they're sitting alone at a table with like 3 other like I don't want to call them surveillance people because that sounds horrible, but like 3 other whatever like supervision aides, and they're just not like no one is talking and they're just eating in salads. And so we go over there and we're just like bullying, well, not bullying them, but we're just like fucking giving it to them so hard. That's not awkward. You know what I mean? We're just like making fun of them, but like jokingly. And oh, it was so funny. You are frozen, by the way. Can you still hear me?